Okay, so welcome. Today we've got a very, very special guest, Monika Śleszyńska. She is the contemporary visionary straight from Egypt, straight from Nile. Monika has just finished meditating on the river bank of Nile.
We really did it together. Thank you very much. We did it together.
And now
we meditate with the devices and connections.
Perfect.
Hello, Kashu.
Hello. Monika, thank you so much for accepting the invitation to take part in my interview series, which are part of the bigger project, Build Your Inner Feed. It's all about building connection with yourself, about improving communication skills with yourself, with the world, with having better mental health, better life balance. And you work with those areas, you work internationally with clients, and you have a lot of expertise and a lot of great insights and also methodology. Yes?
Yes, thank you. Yes, it's a great joy to have been discovering the human potential, working with people from different nations, and really getting to the sophisticated dynamics of who we are, how we function, how we communicate internally with the world around, with the nature, with the cosmos, with the universe, with our hearts. So thank you for having me here today.
Well, I'm so lucky to have you, and being able to tap into your knowledge is absolutely fantastic. Today we're going to be talking about stress caused by the career. It can be career transition or just career in general. And we want to tap into the insights which you're working with, which is hypnotherapy and the ancient wisdom. Perhaps I will convince you to give us a little sample of ancient sounds, because they are totally out of this world. So stay till the end.
Let's see. Oh, I wasn't expecting this. Thank you very much. Well, as you're speaking about the career stress, it's very important to recognize, is it a general career stress as an environment, or is it career change? Because those are two very different things. And although we can still apply the same principles of dealing with the stress, really there is a much, much deeper meaning, as collectively we have been experiencing the awakening of the stress culture. So stress culture in the future is going to be a memory, is going to be a blast from the past, hopefully, because we are awakening to the civilization of wellness. So stress was a big fashion 20, 30 years ago, and even still harder. Now we are waking up to wellness. And collectively, we come to realize that we don't like to be stressed. It's an unpleasant experience, so why to do it? Collectively, it was like a pre-agreed experience to go through such stressful environments, and then discover that actually, hey, people are getting unwell from this. And let's look at hospitals. There are even heart attacks from stress. So why live in stress if it shortens life, if it affects health? And there has been a big wake up. Hello, let's do something about it. Let's prevent being stressed. And number one has been on the individual level. So individuals learn how to manage stress, how to eliminate stress. And eventually it has resulted really in coming to the point that, hey, is the work environment stress-free? And here it's a really, really big shift, because people are starting to think, hey, do I want to work for a company where I'm stressed? Do I want to be in an office where I'm stressed? Is it worth it? Is it what I want to do? And why am I stressed? Am I supposed to be doing something else? So here comes a very super important life change and a big calling, because we're starting to looking at well, is it good for the planet? Is it good for us? Is it what I came here to do? And is that really awakening potential? And we could even say from zero to superhero. However, whatever we have been doing, wherever we have been, whatever skills, whatever jobs we have done, it all matters. And there are environments which can be improved. There are professions which are amazing, and they don't have to be stressful. And we can bring this factor, how to create as a wellness environment. So I envision for the future, the companies will really, really work beautifully to convince, to attract employees to work for them by creating the wellness structure and the personal development. And we see it already since quite a few years, how many companies started to introduce regular retreats and team bonding and different activities. And this has been in some of the companies different. In some of the already established companies, the different workshop like, and they had different names through different times. So the future I envision is that the companies which are going to really sustain and be the market leaders are the companies which want work, which invest in the employees, because the truth is we are really coming to know the big, big human potential on a different level than we used to. And we have a choice. Some years ago, life looked differently, and it was a fashion, it was a prestige. Now it's been saturated. And people are waking up. We have internet. So wow, we have so many options. We can do so many things. And we're discovering through personal development, through coaching, through different models and methods like hypnotherapy, like alternative medicine. Hey, we can do so much, and it's so nice to look after our lives and after others' lives, so we are more beautiful, healthier, we have more vitality, and also at the same time we can spend more time outdoor. And this is also a big point, how we look at the organizational structures. The civilization has built beautiful, tall buildings. Do we want to spend all our lives in those buildings? The truth is, we don't.
Exactly, yes. People
They're really, they're really amazing for some time. Yet we live on a beautiful planet Earth. We want to relocate. We want to see the beautiful world. We want to be in different places. And also the cities of the future are the cities where nature has been well embraced and included in the city structure, because we're waking up to what is healthy, what is good. And we're going through many planetary changes about respect for the planet, and does it create good for the planet? Does it honor the planet? So deep inside, we know that we came here to do something good. And there are many companies which are really fantastic in teaching amazing skills, because this is also a big, big aspect, that the companies have fantastic, phenomenal structure to develop different skills. And we love that. We love doing it collectively. It's a great environment, and we are with people, and we love being with people. So we love companies. We love being in big structures because it gives us a sense of belonging. And yet we're coming to realize that it's fantastic. However, it doesn't replace family. Yes, the companies can create an environment which is wonderful and friendly and great to work for, and that's fantastic. However, still, it cannot replace family values.
Exactly.
Unless those are family companies and families. So also there are a lot of cases, very detail, which we're undergoing collectively, and then find ourselves individually in different places of that.
Absolutely. Today I had a pleasure of seeing Marisa Peer live, and she's also a big authority, a person who helps a lot of people across the world fight anxiety and depression. And she indicated, which is a no-brainer, but it's a very good reminder that one of the causes of depression and mental illnesses or imbalances is basically lack of contact with people. Okay, we are just glued to the devices, we are glued to our screens all the time, and we forget how to interact with people. We are just losing this connection. Monika, so you gave us a very good outline of a very big perspective, why it's happening the way it's happening now, why people experience so much stress in the work environment due to career development. What I would like to focus on now is what can we do? What are the tips that will help us fight it on a personal level, or even on a corporate level, because maybe the tips are also good for companies that want to implement those structures within their processes.
So sure. Well, we already see lots of facilities of wellness, such as yoga places and gym memberships, which often many companies already included. So this culture already exists to really support it. So the question is, the first question is about the lifestyle. Are we stressed because our lifestyle has been lacking those wellness activities? And if so, then the simple answer is this is an aspect of life to be developed, because that's what we're moving towards, to civilization where we are looking after our bodies. And there's so much to choose within the wellness that I don't have to bring here tips. There's really so much to choose. The important thing is to find what works for us, because what works for others, how others like to relax, it may not serve for us. Some people love water and swimming. Other people really relax with gym or running or walk in the park. So here really the choice is huge. It's important that we live it as a lifestyle. And there are lots of mindfulness techniques. And of course, I will mention hypnotherapy, because 20 minutes of a good, high quality hypnotherapy session or even self hypnosis can make up for a full night of good sleep. And this is really important. So if the person, for example, is just in the beginning of making lifestyle changes, then hypnotherapy is really great, because it helps to instill good habits and let go of the habits which might be challenging to change, and instill the good habits often very, very quickly, even instantaneously. The next big reminder is really about nature, and spending more time in nature, more time outdoor, to really having us an aspect again of a lifestyle. We want some time away, and we want it daily. We want it every week, and because it's great for us. We love to be in a good air, and it's so relaxing. It gives fresher mind. It gives us a sense of space. So, talking about the stress, it's important to identify what is due for it. So, we're speaking, is it an environment, or is it something we are working on internally? Because stress is a great indicator. Where have we been pressing too much, or where have we omitted something? So it's a big bell. Hey, let's do something about it. let's bring some goodness to us. Because if we don't do the goodness, then we just leave space for the stress. So with looking after ourselves, we build a resilience for stress. We naturally immune when we exercise, when we eat well, when we have time outdoor, and actually we'll have more strength to deal with anything we are to deal with. And dealing with anything that there is comes again to our natural skills, to our internal skills. And here, for example, hypnotherapy and really the approach of tapping into our potential allows us to know what our strengths are, because when we know what we're good at, it's unshakable. We know we are good in this, and it keeps us well. We build our life around this in a way which suits us. So we are the boss. We are the boss how we want it. And if we choose to work in a certain way, in certain environments, it's because we know we are valued. We know we enjoy it. We know we want to be there. And everything flows. If, however, it's about shifting the career, it's a very different topic, because again, each person is very different. So each person responds very differently to changes. And first of all, it's important to shift the perception. When you have the career change, it's like, wow, celebrate. Celebrate, you're going to expand, you're going to do something new, you're going to evolve. And at first, it really depends what the aspect is. This is why the very individual approach is so important, to really examine what are we stressed about, because once we know, we can do something about it. We can talk about it, we can reach for wisdom about it. Is it something, is it a temporary factor, or has it been building in us, has it been growing? And now it's coming to the surface. So there are different varieties. Number one is to really let go of stress.
It's easier said than done.
and well, what's the next great eradicator of stress? Really, laughter. When we laugh, we naturally bring ourselves into positive, good mood. And it can be laughter with a friend, with a family, or it can be watching a comedy. So this is a thing which we can do instantaneously. Another big one is sound and music. When we hear the sound, it naturally, the sound we like, we enjoy, it balances us. And this is also the big factor of the change we're undergoing in the civilization, because cities have lots of sound. And we've been away from the nature for a long time. We've been away from the natural sounds. So naturally, we could have this experiment for so long. However, deep down, we long for this connection with nature and nature sounds, because the cities as we know it, in the form we have them now, they're different than they were 50 years ago. And the lifestyle has changed. So because we often spend more time in the cities, and over the years and years and years, it also changes our generation. So we can think that the generation of our parents was more resilient and conditions, and then we're coming into different conditions. So there are different stages. And to understand what's happening collectively, that naturally we want to spend more time with the good sounds. And when we apply this to our lifestyle, to the location we live, to the how much we are exposed to the sounds which are stressful, and some of them are just subconscious sounds. We may think it doesn't affect us, and just being in the busy city, it's really huge. For example, people who live in the desert, when they come to big cities such as in Egypt, for example, to Cairo, they say they can spend 2-3 days, no more. They get stressed, and they coming for leisure time.
So they get stressed because there's too much silence, right? Or too much of the sounds of nature.
The other way around. So people from the desert, people who live in the desert.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
When they come to the city,
that makes sense.
They say that they don't like it. It's too stressful, and they really come just to stay with friends and family, and they don't like the stress of the noise. So that's another big aspect of the stress factors which we maybe didn't take into consideration. So because the mind evolves, we need to give it a break. We need to slow down. And slowing down is the next big point. Because we have taken our mind collectively into great adventure of developing fast, of absorbing so much information and doing so many things and learning new skills and knowledge and education and entertainment. And the mind needs to have a break and needs to slow down. And when we give it to it, it will be fine, it will be well, and it can evolve further. So when we really decide to have a break and stop, this is going to open the big aha. This is going to open so much wow, because cities are super absorbing. It's so easy to say in the city there's always something to do, there's so much culture, there's so much entertainment and friends and activities. So to take time away to go out of the city, it may feel like, well, and of course we do, we travel, we go on holidays. However, we need to do it more often. And personally, this has been something I have to experience. Spending lots of time in nature and really getting to know this big difference and the big shift which happens in our consciousness, in our mind, when we just allow ourselves to spend time in beautiful nature places, in a retreat mode. And here retreats are super powerful because we can step away from the usual lifestyle and we can dedicate ourselves into developing new habits. And this is really how quickly, in a very powerful way, we can notice how much we have inside, how many skills we have, and it grows our value. We shift how we see ourselves because now we had time and we've been in a very nourishing environment and we've been in a beautiful nature location. And this is really how fast we can notice this. Just when we shift the direction of consciousness and allow ourselves this retreat mode, it does phenomenal things to how we feel about ourselves, what we know about our potential. And here, the next big point is nurturing. So to nurture, when we nurture ourselves, we really get to look after ourselves and we eliminate space for stress because we gave ourselves love, we gave ourselves care, we gave ourselves so much, we looked after ourselves, and this really shifts our perceptions, really our knowing about our potential. So the next big aspect is that we evolve in the environments of care and wellness. So having regular time away in my practice, it's a must. It's a way of living that I know that it's important to spend time in beautiful nature locations. That it's important to dedicate conscious time into arranging and rearranging things, into developing, into understanding, into studying the inner self.
Monika, you've mentioned sounds. You are working with ancient sounds. You create programs that incorporate ancient sounds. I want to ask a little bit more about it because yes, we know it and we have experienced that. Maybe not so many people. That's why I want to mention this technique or this method of work. What is the biggest benefit of using?
Yes, I work with the ancient sound system. Those are the ancient healing art, and the sounds have a multiple purpose, and they are based on the ancient wisdom to arrange multiple directions, understanding, and environment for the energy for our body to be well. So the ancients knew how to be well, they knew how to function healthy, they knew many, we could say, secrets, how to maintain health and wellness. And even before the sounds, at the bottom of it is, for example, honoring sunrises and sunset. So they knew it to the extent that they built the temples with the alignments, in particular for the sunrises on the equinoxes and the solstices.
Okay, so is it what is the form?
And those passages are also important for maintaining our internal balance, because when we honor the text of Earth, the astronomy of the balance within, and the ancient sound system works with in multiple directions to enhance our potential. On the bottom level, it's about keeping us well. Another aspect is that it works super fast. It's very intelligent. It's even faster than hypnotherapy. And it allows to expand our potential, to bring expansion of our consciousness. It aligns us with the, yes.
Would you like to share with us a sample? Because and it's absolutely fine if you don't. I think these are absolutely something out of this planet, and as you know, we've experienced them. We've been working with them, and they do bring changes, very positive changes into the life. But there's nothing like experiencing just to know what we're actually talking about. Would I be successful in persuading you into a tiny sample?
Well, it usually takes a good preparation for the session, as in arranging the space and meditation. So I wasn't really expecting, so do forgive me. However, I kindly invite for anyone who would love to sample, I invite to comment and be in touch, and we can surely arrange a private free sample of the ancient sound system. We can plan for the timing, and then I can prepare, as it requires lots of intention and just preparation of the space. So for sure, very welcome. Yes, I'm super amazed about what's possible when we work with the sound. And Egypt is so known for working with the sound, and it's been a big privilege, and it's so phenomenal to be discovering the power of the sounds. And yes, they allowed me, they really directed creating very beautiful special programs where in the minimum time we can achieve maximum of the results, really enhancing, building up our beautiful potential. Because the truth is, we all have amazing goodness inside, and we've been searching for so many methods how to reach it. And many of the methods we have are phenomenal, fantastic, and yet I know that deep down we always curious about something new and more. And personally, it's been a beautiful journey to discover this more and taste more. And by the way, the experience has been just phenomenal and wonderfully joyful. In a way, those programs are exactly what I always wanted to find, what I always wanted to see, because since the beginning I had such a great passion for participating in different workshops and staging what they do. And it's a phenomenal experience to go through an internal change, to transform, and really just to open up into our amazing selves, because our phenomenal selves and amazing selves already exist. We are just to open up. And I feel that those sounds are the exact bridge and openness to our amazing selves, where we naturally realize and many things about ourselves. And when we feel how great we are, we can really laugh at the stress. We see that it doesn't have to take long to be relaxed and to feel wonderful.
And it's all accessible to everyone. It doesn't really require a lot of difficult methods or techniques. They are very straightforward. I think with your methods, with hypnotherapy, with the ancient sounds, it's very much like a yoga practice. It's a journey. It's something extremely internal, and you really enjoy it. It's very difficult to talk about it. It's so much better just to experience that. And yeah, for me, that's how I perceive it. It's so much better just to try rather than try to grasp it with your mind, because this is something you have to really feel with your on the level of your body.
Well, actually, I haven't thought about it this way, so thank you very much. Yes, I feel that those sounds, the effect is like yoga, and I do love yoga. And actually, my own practice, yoga practice, I do mix yoga with the sounds. I actually practice it as such. And thank you for such a beautiful presentation and sharing your expression about what it feels like for you. Because I feel I'm still with each session, each person, each group. It's a beautiful discovery of where it can take us, which is pretty much like the yoga practice. The longer we practice, there's always something new. No yoga practice is the same because we evolve.
Exactly. Monika, I would like to sum up, because you've mentioned a lot of very important aspects of actually how we can deal with stress. I'm focusing on the career stress, on what is happening, due to our situation at work, but those techniques are good enough to help us relieve any stress coming from any other source, like maybe your relationship or your family can give you a lot of stress. So those methods will work as well. I would like to.
Well, that's a very good point, because the key is to have relationships, be in relationships, and to create communication with family, friendships, and everyone in a way which is enriching. Because deep down, this is what we all want. So yes, the combination of hypnotherapy and different methods really helps to discover this. And then we know we can either manage this, we learn, we shift our attitudes. So if we can shift attitude, then that's fantastic. Then we really eliminate stress, or we come to the point to understand that we actually want to shift the environment. It doesn't serve us anymore. And what else is very important here? Well, food and nutrition is really important, because the food in its pure original source, it does first, it means nutrient. It also means to eat well in a good nurturing environment. So avoid eating under the stress and fast, because again, in the long term, it will build up for the body. And this is again a big bonus of the retreats. When we're in a retreat mode, everything is arranged in a mindful way, in a caring way. So it really takes us to understand that it's a big effort, and it's a good effort, and it is for to make such an effort to eat well and honest around food, which are nurturing, which give it time, which give it that good space.
Perfect. So let me just recap, and in case I missed out something, you are welcome to add it. So let's see whether we've mentioned eight methods of coping with career stress. We've said that food, our nutrients are extremely important. We were talking about perceiving the collective shift, so the awareness of what is actually happening around the world, and where the world is going, what are the trends, and just understanding it better. We were talking about connecting with nature as a way of coping with stress. We were talking about identifying the source of stress, and what is actually like looking more closely into it, so that we can understand and cope with it. Ancient sounds, that's right. Yoga, retreats, which just basically give you all of those. All of those. Is there anything I missed out?
Well, I would add, yes, this is fantastic, and really just to make a little summary of what you said. When we do all those little things, when we take it into consideration, that it will really build up in us to be strong and resilient and to create wellness. And again, retreats are just places where we have all those little points and big points, and we have them together in a compact time, so we can make the most of it. And that's what I see super important. Another aspect is I would add about the identity shift. So when it comes to a career, it's another wide topic, and maybe we can bring it in another conversation. Absolutely. Because it's also a wide topic. So yes, of course, yoga, the ancient methods, yoga is ancient sound system, and really any sound work, any sound healing is phenomenal. Hypnotic techniques, hypnotherapy, and any form of trance, it's fabulous, because it allows us to de-stress in as last 20 minutes, often less. And this is what we are shifting, that we are powerful methods. We're bringing more skills, new channel skills, and we're developing those skills inside of ourselves. And this is another big shift. When we find the skills inside of us, then we are really equipped in so much more. And that often takes lots of stress away, because it's about what we do, how we look after ourselves, how we manage. and that's another big field to really open up. We're getting lots of sound here.
I've noticed that's fabulous.
There's a party about to start. So yes, I think this summarizes. It summarizes it well.
Fantastic.
And yes.
Monika, how, for those who are interested in working with your methods, with ancient sounds, with hypnotherapy, what is the best way for them to reach you? Obviously, I've mentioned, please comment, or you can always contact me. I will share the content to Monika, but if you want to also share any specific way of contacting yourself, you're welcome.
Yes, of course, you are very welcome to get in touch directly at info@monikaśleszyńska.com or find my name through also through Facebook. I invite to follow the Ancient Passion page on Facebook and the Ancient Passion website, where there is more information and more on the way. So thank you very much, and you're very welcome.
Thank you. And just one last thing I'd like to add. If you are interested in retreat, in digital detox and yoga, please ask me for Build Your Inner Feed retreat, which I'm currently launching. Thank you very much, Monika.
Thank you very much, and I'm very pleased to see the creation of your retreat, because it looks exactly like the retreat I always wanted to see, with so much attention to detail and so many aspects taken into consideration. So I hope that this becomes a big success, and for sure it's just the start of your many very special creations, because you have a fantastic touch and an eye for how to facilitate the change, and you have your own journey of making the changes.
Absolutely. I just wanted to add that the ancient sounds has been accompanying me during the process of creation and planning and organizing the retreat. And it has proved to be actually very easy, which I wouldn't expect. But throughout this process, I've been also practicing with Monika daily, the meditations with ancient sounds, and maybe that's why it was so easy. That's why I will recommend this practice and work with Monika anytime.
Wow, we tapped into the secrets really of the ancient sounds, how easy it is to create, to bring creativity and to create with ease phenomenal, to bring phenomenal ideas into creation,
into life.
Yes.
Fantastic. Monika, thank you so much for your time, for your energy, for your wisdom, and for your patience today.
And thank you so much for having me here.
Thank you. Enjoy the rest of the lovely evening in Egypt.
Thank you very much, and you always also enjoy your time in London.
Thank you. I will.